Hello and welcome to the daily number workout. Today for third grade, we're on number 16. So let's start off with our word form. Word form for 16 is SIXTEEN. And when we look at the ones place value, this is the ones, this is the tens. If it is 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, it's even. So this one is even. Looking good. And let's find the factors. So we always have this tool that I like to demonstrate because you'll be using it down the road. But we say 1 times 16. So that's the first one. So I'm going to write it up here. 1 times 16 is a factor pair. 2 goes in because it is even. So we're going to say 2 times 8 is 16. So we have the factor pair 2 times 8, and you can write that over there. And because 2 8s make 16. If we said 8 plus 8 is 16. 3 does not go in. 4 does. 4 times 4 is 16. So if I had 4 4s and I added them up, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, I would get 16. Now, there's no other numbers in between 4 and 4, so we know we're done. That's what's nice about this technique. All right, so we're ready to rock. Onward to addition. So I'm going to move my paper up for this, just so I have plenty of room to show you what I got. Okay, so you have already done all of the work and you're just checking your work to see how you did. So let's start off. 16 plus 1 equals 17. 16 plus 2 equals 18. 16 plus 3 equals 19. 16 plus 4 equals 20. 16 plus 5 equals 21. 16 plus 6 equals 22. 16 plus 7 equals 23. 16 plus 8 equals 24. 16 plus 9 equals 25. And 16 plus 10 equals 26. Woo, looking good. So we can make our connections here. We've got like 2 and 6 is 8. And then we add that 10, so 18. Or come down here, 6 plus 6 is 12. We have the 2 there and add another, so that would be 12 plus 10. So lots of connections you can make. And of course, any number plus 10, we're increasing the tens place once, and we don't increase the ones place at all because it's just 0 there. All right, let's move on. Remember, we're going to bring our 26 up to the top here. 26 minus 16 equals, if we look down here, we have 10. 25 minus 16 equals 9. 24 minus 16 equals 8. 23 minus 16 equals 7. 22 minus 16 equals 6. 21 minus 16 equals 5. 20 minus 16 equals 4. And you know, I say to myself, well, 4 plus 6 is 10. So that makes sense because there's a 0 there. 19 minus 16 equals 3. That is 3 plus 6 is 9. That's an easy check. 18 minus 16 equals 2, and 17 minus 16 equals 1 because 17 is just 1 more than 16. Let's move on. So there's lots of ways our brain can be thinking through this exercise and how all these numbers relate. And we can always check our work by finding like 20 up here. So we can see 16 plus 4, 16, 4. All those are a family that work together. Let's go on to multiplication. And I am covering that up. Hopefully you already have that down. So 16 times 1 equals 16. 16 times 2 equals, well, let's try some multiplication. So let's do over here 16 times 2. 2 times 16 equals 12. Drop the 2, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So 2 16s is 32. 16 times 3 equals, well, I can add 16 to this one just to get that one. I could multiply and then I can add. I can do it any way I want. 2 plus 6 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 3 16s is 48. 16 times 4 equals, I'm going to come back over here and do 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. Drop the 4, carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So this would be 64. I could have added 2 of these because 2 2s is 4. So 2 32s is 64. That's another way to look at it. 16 times 5 equals, so I'm going to come over here and do 16 times 5. I can be using scrap paper too. 5 times 6 is 30. Drop the 0, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So 16 times 5 is 80. I'm going to add another 16 to that 80 because that's easy to add up. So 16 times 6 equals 96. 16 times 7 equals, and I come over here and do 16 times 7 by stacking it. 7 times 6 is 42. Drop the 2, carry the 4. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 is 11. So this would be 112. 16 times 8 equals, let's add a 16 to that 7 times, and we get 128. 16 times 9 equals, add another 16 to that one. 8 plus 6 is 14, drop the 4, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 3, and that drops down to 134. And then 16 times 10, any number times 10 is that number with a 0 in the ones place. All right, we did it a little different here. We did some adding, multiplying. We kind of played around all which ways. But if you checked your multiples, see if you got the same thing I got. You could have done all addition for adding 4 16s, adding 3 16s together. However you did it is good, a good start. So let's move on to our measurement. And of course, we start off with the standard form of linear measurement. Linear means a line, the length of something. So today is 16 inches. And we know it takes 12 inches to make a foot. So we're going to make a fraction here with 12 on the bottom, 16 on the top. And we're going to give an equal sign here. And we're going to break this apart to figure out how many feet we actually have. Since this is an improper fraction, the numerator, the top number, is bigger than the denominator, the bottom number. So we're going to take 12 out of there. So we have 12 twelfths. And if we take 12 away from 16, that leaves 4 twelfths. So we have 1 whole foot and 12 fourths. I'm going to move this over. So we have 1 and 4 twelfths feet. And there's more we can do with this, but we're going to work on that later on or in 4th grade or in 5th grade. All right, the next one would be yards. It takes 36 inches to make a yard, and we've got 16. So we don't have quite enough. So this would be 16/36 of a yard. All right, let's go for centimeters, decimeters, and meters. This would be the metric form of measurement. And it's a little different than our standard form. So let's write it out. We have 16 centimeters. That's today's number. Always use today's number. And remember decimeters, it takes 10 centimeters. So we're going to put decimeters on the bottom of how many centimeters we have. And now we're going to break that down. So an equal sign, we want 10 over 10. And if we take 10 away from 16, we have 6 more. So 6 plus 10 is 16. So we know we're in the right ball field. So we have 1 whole decimeter and 6/10 of a decimeter. So we have 1 and 6/10 decimeter. So anytime there is a fraction with the same number over itself, that's 1 whole. All right. Don't worry, just take it all in. We'll go over it and over it and over it every day. And when you get to your fraction unit, you are going to be right on track. So now we have 16 over 100. It takes 100 centimeters to make a meter. So that is a fraction of a meter. That is 16/100ths of a meter. And there we have it, the number 16. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you again for the number 17. Bye-bye.